Hi guys, welcome to youtube.com/Adam McKola. This is Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. The reaction show, and I don't know why I'm smiling because I'm absolutely gutted. That was a real sickener from start to finish. As soon as I finished the preview, pre-stream, build-up show, Tottenham had already scored. Christian Eriksen had put Tottenham in front 1-0, and it went from bad to worse for Manchester United because despite a few positive signs in that first half after going behind, Phil Jones scored an own goal which was completely preventable. From first viewing it looked like it was an awful mistake, but after that it just looked like Phil Jones got his feet all mixed up and it was his fault. 2-0 in the second half. Our performance didn't improve, it got worse, and we were lucky to run out 2-0 losers in the end. I'm sat here with Dean, or Dave as my mum calls him. Dean, how you feeling after that, man?
Just a bit deflated. Started off poor. It was 10 seconds in.
10 seconds the goal was conceded.
From then we was on the back foot ever since then. We just off the pace. You saw on Mourinho like in terms of the defense was just poor. I don't know. Like I feel the first goal was preventable in terms of obviously we spoke before the game. In terms of Ashley Young, obviously he did. Well, he got ineffective, but in terms of that, again, you look at that, would Luke Shaw have maybe trapped Eriksen, the runner? Ashley Young is not a left back, so and he's only letting 3 scores. Phil Jones is the own goal.
Oh, it was awful, wasn't it? Them feet, like, what was he doing with his feet? Like, because the ball's coming to him, he goes with his left foot. Okay, it's not his strongest foot, but he's most comfortable on that side. He goes with his left foot, he clears the ball one time, it's out, it's gone. But he changed his feet. It seemed like a last-minute decision, and he changed it, and he ends up in the top corner. And was this Phil Jones' worst game this season, do you think? Because he's been pretty good this season. Do you think, because everything seemed to come from the defence?
Yeah, he was poor, and again there was a lot of poor performances as well. Obviously he's kind of sealed the game, but I don't know. I heard they're saying on the Indian commentary talking about that maybe could have gone with Rojo, but it'd been a bit unfair to try to take them out of the team. But obviously again,
I could maybe see Smalling not starting, but not Jones, because Jones I think has been first choice after Bailly. He's been excellent this season. And then that mistake, the defensive performance, maybe we can't put Smalling and Jones together. Maybe that's something. But do you think Jose maybe learnt something new about his players today, and maybe has changed his mind about Phil Jones, about Chris Smalling, and because he looked really pissed off there today.
I don't think it was just them, to be honest. I was surprised he started Martial with Sanchez. Again, I think maybe this is kind of the team that he wants to play, and it's the kind of litmus test was today. He got blew away, and I think now you could see obviously brought on Matt, and maybe he's just gonna go with what he thinks is best in terms of just results. Because today it looked like we kind of set up the same way when we went to Arsenal and tried to hit them straight away. Because we got the sucker punch straight away, we was all out attacking, and we just got exposed really. And again, we wasn't as effective going forward. And I think he'll just kind of he's gonna do something drastic, I think, and just revert back to just something robust where we just hard to beat. Because we just saw Mourinho like today in terms of our defending. It was a whole team.
It was really un-Mourinho-like, and he looked disappointed sat there. He looked really disappointed. Now, in the first half, we're on the first half. We had the Phil Jones own goal. We had the goal after 10 seconds, which come from a route one ball from Spurs. Now, technically, the goal shouldn't have stood because the ball didn't move forward from kickoff. But so much has happened. Even though it's only 10 seconds, so much happens between the ball being kicked off and all that it didn't really matter. No one noticed anyway. But we had the route one defending, the poor goal, the shit defending. We had the Phil Jones own goal. But then we actually had a reaction in between that as well. There seemed to be like, oh, we can get back in this, because we were still thinking the game's there to be won.
Yeah, I think obviously with the attacking players we have got, I think we're always going to be potentially in the game, because out of like some of the 5 players we've playing forward today, any one of them create something out of nothing really. I just don't. It didn't really click. I think you've seen Sanchez move inside second half. Obviously, again he moved him off the left. So I don't know if that's Mourinho admitting fault or just thinking that he needs to get Sanchez involved in more of the game. But we didn't click moving forward. On the comparisons between obviously Harry Kane and Lukaku, obviously.
Rio seemed to go in a little bit on.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't go in on Lukaku, but his compliments to Kane, kind of like, because he said that's what you want from a number 9.
Yeah.
So that is kind of being harsh to Lukaku. But did Lukaku have enough today? He had one chance where he rolled the defender, had a shot, brought a good save from Lloris. I don't remember us ever really presenting him with another opportunity.
No, but I don't think there wasn't much chances that we created for him. But obviously, again, because Harry Kane was on the pitch at the same time, Harry Kane was creating things out of nothing, or he was doing that. He was putting in that graft to kind of make things happen. Whereas when Lukaku does it, he always kind of loses the ball too quickly. It just fizzles out. There was a couple of times, even early in the game, when he could have touched it back to Martial when Lloris came scrambling out for the ball. It's a poor pass and it's just a missed opportunity. But those are the things I think as a striker at United, you need to be taking your chances.
Jay O'Connell said he felt he didn't have enough service.
Yeah, I think that's arguable, but there wasn't a lot of the time. I think it's because he withdraws himself from the box. He always tries to come and find the ball, and I think to me, I don't understand. We've got people playing wide. How come you're never just attacking the front post he was always in and about the box, but he doesn't pose a big enough threat for me against big defenders like Vertonghen. To me, he's not offering enough. I think today potentially. I think maybe I know Mourinho hasn't dropped him previously because he's kind of been the only striker. But I wouldn't be surprised if he potentially took him out of the team and put Sanchez up there. It's maybe just to try it because I think in terms of our pressing just wasn't as good as Tottenham's. Really. That's how Tottenham was getting a lot of the chances through their pressing. And
you mentioned before we came on, you thought we tried to set up the way we did at Arsenal with that Lingard press, but once we go 1-0 behind after 10 seconds, it's difficult to then implicate that and implement it on the game. How do you think Jose could have made any different changes? We saw substitutions today which were pretty shocking, not shocking in terms of you could blame Jose Mourinho for making them because you couldn't, because any of those players could have gone off today. But were you surprised to see Pogba go off? Fellaini went on and off now. I thought he got hooked and it was Jose being pissed off. But having just seen that, he did seem to be hobbling around a lot more. And I think just in my annoyance of not wanting to watch the game, I just didn't see it. Were you surprised by it? We're seeing Jose talk to Pogba now. Was he upset with Paul Pogba today?
I don't know. I don't hope he's injured, but when he's talking off, I'm thinking he must be injured because to me, he's the best player we've got at feet in midfield. And in a game where we're not, when we were changing it, it's not like we was looking to start going route one because they're winning the defense is winning all the balls. But I don't know. I think when Fellaini came out, I didn't think Fellaini had any business being on that pitch, to be honest. In terms of, again, we were trying to play all neat little football 1-2s and stuff, and I think that's not Fellaini's game. So to me, it kind of it was at that time when I seen it happen, I was thinking that maybe Jose is kind of just accepting, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have brought Fellaini on.
He did look injured in the end, and I think some people have commented as well. Robin, Adam, and Man United tweeted saying he was injured, but I'm sure they would because politically it's right for them to do that. Robin, Adam, we don't condone this, by the way, Robin, so you need to log out right now and calm down. He's just said I almost punched my sister because of how frustrated I was after the match. We hope she give you a slap. Aman says, let's pray for the career of Fellaini. Adam, it's a huge tactical mistake. Jose was why we lost, says Haider. Haider, can you explain what you think tactically he got wrong today? Matic was a waste of a shirt tonight, says Billy R. See, when I was talking about the subs, I thought Matic could have got pulled into the Pogba because I thought he was worse than Pogba today.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I don't think there's anyone who does the defensive job better because as poor as he was, I think Paul Pogba was his best going forward, and I don't think he's best being in a defensive position. So I agree that he warranted being taken off, but I wouldn't have. I think Matic kind of has to stay in that team.
Bill, you said he had a stinker.
Mm. Like I say, he didn't have his best game, but I think just through his physical attributes as well, he kind of has to stay on the pitch. He's tall, he's strong, he's quite quick. Although he wasn't, his passing was a bit off, and he was a bit below pace. He can still offer a job, especially at set pieces.
The most surprising substitute for me was Jesse Lingard, because I actually thought he played quite well, and I thought, especially in the first half, he was why we were so good. I thought he linked up with Sanchez the best out of everybody. Yeah. The way he was playing, he was buzzing around the pitch quite well. He almost had a goal. The defender just got a nick. Yeah. There was a few opportunities where we almost got in, even in the second half, where Martial, you're just thinking, if he beats that last defender, he's through on goal and we've got another goal. But it didn't come. It didn't come on the day. Is it just a bad day? Or is there something to be worried about here with this United team? What will Jose be thinking?
I think, honestly, I'm not entirely worried in terms of, obviously we're not looking, we're so far behind City, it's ridiculous.
15 points now.
Yeah, so we're not looking to catch them anytime soon. But in terms of obviously the teams below us are getting closer with 3 points after Liverpool. I think because of how good a manager Jose is, I'm not too concerned, because I think just how concerned he looked. And the fact he was demonstrating how annoyed he was, because he could just have self-control and not show that, but he has shown it. So I think he'll be expecting something to change within the team come Saturday. I think it's inevitable.
What changes?
I think, like I said, potentially it may bring Mata in. I think again, like sometimes I don't think
no matter no party.
Yeah, I don't think Jose likes Mata in terms of in his head, like in terms of. Like I'd rather that team who started today, but I think maybe potentially we'll go on Saturday. We'll just go with Mata, because he's tried and tested. He's not he's in as quick as everyone else, but he's tidy, and I think potentially or something like that where it's going to be someone's getting dropped and someone has to kind of feel the wrath of that poor performance today.
Will he drop Pogba?
I hope not. I think he's old enough now and he's got experience enough to be able to kind of handle these situations you'd expect. So I think Pogba can kind of come fresh again next game. I think he was poor, but I think he was part of the whole team performance that was poor. So
is it again him not playing in his right position? Is that the case?
Well, because again, I think depending on how you set this game up, to me, you set the team up to go and win.
You definitely did.
At Wembley. So. At the same time, had you have part of the boss, as everyone says, had you have part of the boss, and we maybe came away with a draw? In hindsight, now it'd be great. But if you have done that, people wouldn't have been happy then, because it's like you've got all this attacking talent, and you go to Wembley and just part of the boss. But at the same time, Tottenham are a good team. I don't want to start harping on about Spurs, but. They beat Madrid at the Bernabeu. I know Madrid ain't the team potentially was last season, but they beat Madrid there. They beat some top I know in the Premiership they haven't beat many of the top six. That's the thing that's quite disappointing for me, is the fact that other teams around us have been able to get results against them. So that's what's disappointing. The fact that Chelsea lost today.
Oh yeah, Chelsea lost today. That's probably that's not a disappointment, because that's actually helped us, because they're still 3 points behind us now. Liverpool 3 points behind the same games played. It's 11 points between us and Arsenal, which is fair enough. But Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea still right behind us. Is that a worry? Do you think we could potentially fall out of the top four?
Maybe not fall out. But I think Jose would ensure something happens to kind of stop that from happening. But in terms of us losing the second spot, it wouldn't surprise me the way we're going, because it's like concentration. It's not like today, like 10 seconds in, we've lost the game 10 seconds in. It's kind of unheard of in a Mourinho team, and that's the thing that I think he'd be so annoyed about, to be honest.
Right, next we're going to move on to Daniel's question. Yeah, remember this is an interactive reaction show to Manchester United 0, Tottenham 2 at Wembley in the Premier League. United suffering their 4th Premier League defeat of the season. It's our first defeat of January, so our first defeat of 2018. I believe it is. Daniel's question was, Daniel Fetters of Adam, your thoughts on Martial playing on the right. So just think about that one for a second, Dean. Was Jose right to pick him on the right, or should he have started on the left? We've got 300 people watching. We've got 75 likes. I want to see at least double them likes. We need to get to at least 150 if we've got 300 in the house. 46,066 subs. Can we hit the 100 mark? 46,100 tonight. So get subbing if you haven't already. Like that video, subscribe, share, comment. Andy Manser says, hope Smalling fucks off in the summer. But back to Daniel's question. Daniel Fetisov, Martial, should he have started on the right? We saw him have flashes, but he wasn't great today.
I think he was quite poor, but he got into positions where he was able to potentially hurt them. He was just kind of the last, in the final third, he was poor, like he would lose the ball. But for me, I know everyone will talk about he started on the right, but a lot of the times he was drifting over to the left. And I think
double teamed him at some point.
Yeah, so I think managers just want certain players on the pitch, not necessarily just always sit in this rigid place over here. Because Martial, like I say, he was drifting a lot of the front line. So I'm not angry that he picked in there. Who else? Like you could argue Rashford could go there, but I think Martial's delivery is better and his final ball is better. So I think to me, like I was a bit surprised when he did start with Martial because I would have thought Martial's best performances always do come from the left. But obviously, it's something that Jose has tried.
Do you think he'll think twice about? Do you think this is going to make him doubt that front three, or is this something that was stemming out? Because I read a tweet earlier on Full Time Devils where they said they weren't really blaming the front line because the midfield didn't do much for them. The attack, Yeah. So, do you think he'll persist with that front three?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, looking at it, it's only one game. It's Sanchez's second game. His first in the Prem. So obviously, we're not expecting it to click straight away. Obviously, you'd hope he'd start with like hitting the ground running sort of thing, but it hasn't happened tonight. But I think he will potentially persist with it because at the same time, I think, like I say, if you regardless of where Martial plays, when you put him against Rashford, to me, if you're playing him out wide, I think his delivery is better, and I think his final ball is better. At the same time, I think Rashford's a massive threat coming off the bench. I know a lot of people potentially don't want to hear that, but he's still young and he's still learning, and he's had opportunities this season to kind of cement that place. If you like.
Martial's definitely ahead of him now in the pecking order. I think you get that feeling. You saw in the FA Cup, Martial was started, he wasn't. So you get the feeling that he is the one that's being picked. Yeah, first choice.
I think that's just down to his statistics. I think he's and like I say, his performances at times, he's just lethal.
Blade wants Alexis on the right. I agree with that as well, but I don't think that was a major factor in the performance today or the result today at all. I don't think that played its part. Didn't watch the game. I stared at the wall instead. It was more entertaining, says Angus. Robbie Jones says Lukaku is disappointing more and more, honestly. I'd rather lose to Spurs than Swansea. That's not a great point, to be honest, just because we're probably going to lose to Swansea now. Why are we suffering in the middle? Missed the trick not getting a proper winger. Why are we suffering in the middle? We missed the trick not getting a proper winger. Do you know what that means?
I'm assuming anyone. I don't know. I'm assuming one to the winger.
And a midfielder. No passion, no clinical passing, no plan, no points. I think it's easy. No passion's always the go-to thing that people say in it. No passion. I don't know about that. This midfield today, says Dick, yeah, I think it was shit. Which is unfortunate. Whenever we see a team that we get really excited about, it just doesn't deliver for us. And that's really, really fucking frustrating. Nana is talking to people in the comments and says, stop blaming Lukaku. So, we're going to go to the player ratings. Dean's going to have to bring his head over here. There are our player ratings. We've given David De Gea 8 because I feel David De Gea saved us from going 3-4 at times, wasn't he? It was another few great saves today. How important is it that we keep David De Gea? We saw how difficult it was to replace Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even trying to comprehend. Trying to replace De Gea. I think he's just immense. Some of the even tonight, he was 2-0. It could have been 4, could have been 5. There was some saves he makes. The one where he just stood and just clattered him in his chest. Someone else that goes in, and I just think that it's so unfortunate he's on the losing side again. But I feel so at times I feel sorry for him because the first goal he had zero chance with, and then the second one again.
Dan Hughes said exactly what Akeem said. Jones got 4. That's kind. Yeah, De Gea the best in the world.
Yeah, and it's unquestionable.
Player ratings are very generous, said Mizan. I felt it's because I can't go in on people like. It's not like we played shit against Yeovil. We played shit against everybody. Like I'm hoping today was a one-off in the grand scheme of things. Like so, if in the next game we play like that again, then everyone's ratings would be much lower. But just to continue going through, and Valencia got a 6. I thought he was pretty useful down the right there. A few good challenges, got forward well. Is that fair? 6?
Yeah, obviously he was getting a bit peppered at times, but he wasn't that bad. But again, he wasn't great. It's kind of what you expect from Valencia, to be fair. Obviously, again, he's kind of unfortunate to be on the loser side.
Smalling 5. That's generous. I just said that out loud and thought that is generous.
I think to be honest, again it pains me to say, but it's like Kane just bullied them both. Like,
very clever with his winning fouls as well. Like he was winning fouls that weren't fouls, but you knew the ref would just give them because he'd win them.
Yeah, he's really clever with the ball in terms of where he puts it. He just kept reading them in. But again, I think Harry Kane was the difference in regards to Smalling and Jones. Just had them up, and then Ali and Eriksen just running off them both.
Fucking hate Dele Ali. Jones got a 4. That was his worst game of the season. Phil Jones for me has been one of our better players this season in the Premier League, and today that was dreadful. Now I hope it was just a bad game. I hope that first 10 seconds kind of just blew everyone's minds. Mohamed saying Adam Jones should get a 1. Young should be a 4. Young should be a 2, says Barry. Young 3, says Asil. Has this confirmed Luke Shaw as our number 1 left back?
I don't know, because again, I think if he was our number 1 left back, I think he'd have started. And now Jose came out and said something recently, suggesting also he's one of the best left backs, and we're glad to have him. But you don't start him against Spurs. Again, I think, like I said, I think at the start, that's an attack. That's kind of an attacking move, to be honest, in terms of showing intent, because Young likes to get down the wing and just whip balls in. He's not the best defender. And I think that's kind of what happened. Like I say, for the first goal, he just got caught lacking, and they scored. If he tracked his man, did they score? Maybe not. But
Joel Chiverton says Matic should have a 4. We've given Matic and Pogba a 5. They were overrunning that midfield. We lost the midfield battle today. I did say before the game that was pretty fucking important that we win that battle. And I felt Lingard was important in winning that battle, but then again I felt he did his job today, and it was just Matic who was poor. Pogba, who wasn't at his best, was poor. Pogba got subbed. Matic carried on playing the full 90 minutes. Fellaini come on, got hooked. Matic and Pogba's performance today, was it good enough? Well, it wasn't. We know it wasn't good enough.
No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for United. At the same time, like again, I know a lot of people are saying 4s, 5s, like you know what I'm saying. Like it's neither here nor there in terms of everyone was poor on a whole. To be honest, for me, in terms of Matic, he's had a poor game today. But he has consistently played quite well this season. So I'm hoping it's a blip for everyone today. To be honest. I mean, I know a lot of
it's actually surprising that Spurs beat us comfortably today, for me.
Yeah. But like I said, they have beat Madrid at Wembley. They're not no mugs. You know what I mean? They've got some good attacking talent as well. And I think, like I said, I think maybe we was just tactically maybe we was just outdone by the first goal, because like I say, I think the way we set up was to do what we did to Arsenal away, and like I say, it was just blown out of the water from the first 10 seconds. Like I say, Fellaini, to be honest, Fellaini, I would never have brought him on. Unless we were looking to start lumping it up top or something. Like, why are we bringing him on?
Do we have use for Fellaini when we got Lukaku on the pitch?
I think if you want to, at the same time, Lukaku doesn't win everything in the air, so I think if you do need someone else to win the ball or to put at the back post, I think, you can have a couple of tall players in there. But I just don't, that's not who we are, you know what I'm saying? Like and unless we're going to do that, I just don't see why we're bringing him on. And we wasn't doing that, so why are we bringing him on? Because for me, he's awful at feet. Herrera would have been a better option. I know, again, he's nowhere near as tall as him, so again, maybe that's what Jose is looking for. He knows he likes strong.
It's a big summer for the midfield because Carrick's going to become a coach. Fellaini's likely going to leave, and that's 2 first teamers gone. So then we need to bring more in. Fosu-Mensah might come back, Pereira might come back, but we're going to need experience in there. Dubsy the Dubsy says Mourinho tinkered and lost. Martial should have stayed on the left. Ashley Young should go now. This is probably Pogba's worst game, to be honest, says Jadeem. I'm sad. How did this happen, says that boy. Do you guys think we need a number 10? We've got a number 10 in Matter, and we didn't play him today from the start. Glenn Maloka's liked the video. Guys, there's 311 of you in here. Like that video. We've only got 118 of those at the moment. Subscribe as well if you haven't subscribed already. This is the reaction show. I'm going live on Full Time Devils at some point tonight as well for I think some transfer chat, so that will be interesting. I need to put my phone on charge. Keen, can you go put my phone on charge? Chris is going to get shot. He's probably flapping at the moment. But yeah. Player ratings. That's the player ratings. Lukaku, Sanchez, Martial 5. No service. We've already spoke about it. Just no service, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I can hear a lot what people are saying in the comments and that. Do you need a number 10? Like, do you need this? Do you need that? I think at the same time, again, if you have been watching all of our games consistently, we have been a lot better than, for example, last season. And obviously last season we weren't great last season. Obviously won Europa, but we have been better on a whole. And obviously our points tally already suggests that. Again, for me, it's disappointing losing today. It was kind of disappointing in the manner in which we lost in terms of, like I said, we was out of the game from the start. And the fact that, like I said, certain of the things that happened, just Mourinho's, the way he was acting on the side.
Yeah,
I think that is kind of a bad sign for the team in terms of I wouldn't like to be one of those players when he's acting like that, because he's, like I say, the newspapers will be on to him, the media will be on to him. Like,
probably be saying Pogba's going.
Yeah, you never know, and it's like we just need to, like I said, we just need to obviously just get just move on from this and go again on Saturday. Again, we have played poor today, but we have got a lot of talent in our team, and like I say, we're watching us all season. We are better than what we showed today. I think it was just unfortunate. We caught Spurs on a good day. We did indeed. Had a shocker, like.
We did have a shocker. Extasio says, why are we looking for a number 10 when we clearly have a shit back 4? We mentioned that. I think that might be the big thing today, that Jose may have to have a rethink about his defence.
I don't think it's a rethink.
Especially when you see Laporte going to City. Another strengthening in their back 4.
I don't think it's a rethink, because I think Mourinho always knew that our back 4 was weak in terms of, as soon as he signed for United, he signed Eric Bailly. And everybody's been our best defender since he's been here, really.
Yeah.
If we
then he signed Lindelof.
Yeah, if we have Bailly, I think we're a different team. We haven't got him at the moment. Obviously he's injured, and obviously he signed Lindelof at the start of this season. And for me, Lindelof, I know he's young or whatever, but he hasn't. To me, he doesn't look like a world beater at centre back. For me, I'd be interested to maybe hear what everyone else thinks about Lindelof, but I'm not convinced by him in terms of, I don't see him as a guaranteed start. I don't see him as much better than Phil Jones or Smalling. And again, Smalling and Phil Jones, that's the centre back partnership. They've been there since Fergie. You know what I'm saying? They're the same centre backs as when Fergie.
No, that's mad. No, look, that back 5 has been there since Fergie. That started today. And I think that is a great place to kind of end this. We're coming towards the end of the video now, but I think that's a great place to end it on. Apart from De Gea's world class, forget that. Yeah. Valencia probably deserves a spot at right back. Smalling, Jones, Ashley Young were all there under Fergie. And many people expected when Fergie left, they would be gone too. Yeah. But they're still here. Does that show that the level of investment that you've seen at City, where they brought Mangala, Otamendi, this, that, changed them up, brought more geezers in for the same amount. They've spent about 300, 400 million. It kind of shows that we've maybe still got some catching up to do. Jose has signed 7 players. Pep signed 19 since coming in. Yeah. Still got a bit of catching up to do this summer.
Yeah, I think, again, like, you can compare ourselves to City, but City have spent a ridiculous amount on centre-backs and wing-backs. So I think you could say, and the only reason why they've done that is because a lot of the centre backs who they've bought haven't worked. So like McKola, I think they paid 40 million for him. So I'm sure he's talking about going to Everton. And again, they've just the only thing they've had is they've continually backed the managers where it's like this defender ain't good enough. We'll buy another one, and it's like we just keep raising the bar. Laforte or for 60 million. Again, you'd expect him to be the bee's knees or whatever, but again, maybe like I don't think there's that many great centre backs out there. Personally, I mean, again, we've spent a lot on our defence. In reality, we spent 60 million between Lindelof and Bailly. You'd think that'd be enough, really. It's not. Again, if Bailly's fit, he walks into our team. Lindelof doesn't. I don't think. I think that's the problem. Is when we have signed, we've been unlucky with Bailly. Lindelof just ain't. It's not cutting it. Maybe he will in the future. I don't know. I'm not saying he won't, but he's not doing it today. And today is what we need. We don't. Or like it's great having potentially a bright future, but if everyone wants results today, then it's like our defense isn't good enough, to be honest. Maybe we need more signings, but that's you got a Mourinho have to hold his hands up and say Lindelof didn't work.
Didn't. Maybe. Well, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But the fact that he's not even like regularly getting minutes at the moment is a bit worrying. It's been like 6-7 months. Nevertheless, he is young, and he's not the worst, and we can't blame him for today.
No.
But yeah, you come to the game. Dean should be coming to the game on Saturday, so expect fan cam, reaction, will be in the vlog, all that stuff. We're going to get out of here now, guys, but thank you for joining us on what's been a disappointing day for Manchester United. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0, blown away in the first half after a goal after 10 seconds and an own goal from Phil Jones. United's first defeat of 2018. Time to bounce back with our first game in February against Huddersfield at Old Trafford. Should be 3 points. Should be. We thought that we went to the John Smiths. Anyway, I'm Adam. He's Dean. Follow him at Twitter and _it's_D double E. Yeah, we've got the weekend wrap coming up on Sunday or Monday as well this week, so we'll be back then. Anyway, peace.